Ever tried grilling spaghetti squash? It's actually really easy. Today I'm going to show you how to cook it over a campfire, but you can also do this method on a regular grill. But first, I have to say that spaghetti squash has become one of our absolute favorites. You can dress it up with any sauce you like, making it super versatile. There's also something so cozy about it. It's perfect for those crisp autumn days. So let's get started by cutting off the ends of the squash. This one has a flat bottom, so I left it on, but you might want to trim it if yours is more rounded. Then turn it upright on a flat end and cut it down the middle. You can rock your knife back and forth or slice along each side until you cut through. Just take your time because this part can be a bit dangerous if you're not careful. Then scoop out the seeds and you can actually save them and roast them for a little snack. But I just threw mine in the fire because I don't know if you're like me, but I love watching things burn. Now we're going to season the squash with some freshly chopped garlic, but you can also use garlic powder to make things easier. Then drizzle the squash with olive oil and season it liberally with salt and pepper. Add the minced garlic and rub everything in nicely. Get your fire going and let it burn down into large coals. You'll want to keep a couple logs burning on the side so you can add more coals to maintain a medium heat. Just make sure your coals are at least a foot below the grates, then put the squash cut side up on the grill and cook for about 25 minutes. The shell will start to char, but don't worry, that's fine, and you can also rotate your squash if it's a bit hotter on one side. Once the juices start to bubble and the center is fork tender, flip the squash and grill the flesh side for about 15 minutes. Just rotate again to make sure it cooks evenly. Now for my sauce, I've got some bolognese that I cooked at home and just need to reheat. This is a great way to make things as simple as possible at the campsite. You can also use whatever sauce you like, but Italian flavors tend to go really well. Puttanesca, pesto, even cacciatore are all great options. Now once your squash is fork tender and nicely charred, it's good to go. Transfer to a plate to catch any juices, and then just use a fork to pull apart the strands. Just be careful not to pierce the shell because we will be using that as our bowl. Then top the squash with your sauce and finish it off with some freshly grated Parmesan and parsley. And yes, I always bring my microplane camping, but you can skip this step if you want to keep things simple. This meal was so satisfying without weighing you down. It's comforting, filling, and the smokiness from the fire goes so well with it. I think this vegetable is seriously underrated. We've actually had spaghetti squash for dinner 3 more times since our trip last month. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more easy recipes like this one. How do you feel about spaghetti squash? Whether you love it or hate it, I'd love to read your comments below. You can also check out my blog for the full recipe and more cooking tips. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching and happy camping!